Welcome to my channel. It is now Monroe's on the Move. This will be for both my husband and I. He might pop in a video or two. It just kind of really depends. He's camera shy. We will get him over that and it will be a-okay. So, we officially have orders to go to Okinawa, Japan. We are scheduled to move towards the end of August. So I'm getting ready to go home in exactly 1 month from today, and I am so excited. So, with that being said, let's talk PCS stuff. Okay, you have orders. What do you do next? That was literally the first thing I had to ask my husband. It kind of depends though. So, if you have dogs, get their quarantine started. I cannot stress that enough. Quarantine is 180 days long. If you live on base, once you get out there, you can keep your dogs there. Otherwise, you have to go to a kennel. Get your dog's quarantine started. The way you go about that is you go back, make sure your dogs have a microchip. They have to have a microchip. Once they have that microchip, you need to get them 2 rabies shots 30 days apart. And the first rabies shot counts as day 0. So it has to start the following day. 30 days later, go out, get your dog's second rabies shot. If they already have 2 rabies shots after the microchip, this is where we messed up, you're good. You're perfect. Once they have that second rabies shot taken care of, I believe some vets will let you do it the same day. Our vet did not, so we had to wait another 21 days, unfortunately. But some vets are nice enough to go ahead and do the next procedure the same day as the second rabies shot, which I highly recommend. It's called a FAVN test. Basically, it's a rabies titer test to make sure that they are immune to rabies because Japan is considered to be a rabies-free country. Once you get your test results back in from your lab, you read your paper, and it needs to say that their titer is greater than or equal to 0.5 milliliters on the paper. Once you have that together, your quarantine has started. While you're still in the States, nothing you need to worry about. Let me show you the paper from the actual vet. Okay, I'm not going to actually show you the exact sheet because it has all of our personal information on there and something I'm not willing to share. But basically, the form, you get sent over to a laboratory. Ours got sent to Houston, Texas at Fort Sam. So it has the owner information, which is my husband and I's information, address, email address, phone number, all that good stuff. Then it has your animal's information. It starts off with your pet's name, the microchip number. Make sure they write the microchip number down correctly. It has been an issue. And then you need to make sure that you check dog or cat, and what type of breed they are, how old they are, their sex, and their color and unique markings. And then, like I said, they send it off for you with their actual blood sample. And then when you receive your scores back, should look a little something like this. I'm just covering up her microchip number. Can you guys see it? 4.56 is her teeter. So that is amazing. She passed with flying colors, only to find out that we screwed up something in the order. So we had to redo everything for one of my dogs. The other one, he's good to go, but my little one, she's not. So if you have any questions about anything having to concern with getting the dog's quarantine started, comment below and I will answer those questions for you. Please do not hesitate to ask. I was confused when we first got orders. I needed some help. So please, 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 and I would do a separate video just on dogs if it needs to happen. So, now that we're done talking about dogs, your husband or yourself received orders. You're asking yourself, what do I do now? Well, we talked about the dog portion already. The next biggest thing for spouses is going to be getting your overseas screening done with the on-base dental, and as well as they prefer the on-base hospital as well, but if you go to a civilian provider, they will instruct you on how to take all the care of that. I didn't have to go that route. I personally went through the hospital here on base. I went in, I had my appointment. At that appointment, we ended up doing my yearly pap smear. We did a full physical. they ran some blood tests to make sure my chickenpox shot was up to date, even though I already had chickenpox. And they also told me that I needed to get a shot, the JE shot, the Japanese encephalitis. I have no idea. All I know is I just got my second one yesterday and my arm hurts so bad. But anyway, so you go in, you get screened. They say, okay, you are suitable for this overseas assignment, or they deny you. If they deny you, I don't... That's the one back there who had some issues with her rabies test. Because we're out of order on something. Ignore her. So if they deny you, I'm sorry. I unfortunately don't know what to do with that part. Talk to your overseas screener in your hospital. They will point you in the correct direction. Once you take your paper over to dental, they'll basically do x-rays and they'll do a quick exam on you. They won't actually fix anything. If you need anything fixed, it needs to be a class 1 or a class 2 in order to go overseas. If you have a class 3 issue, which is something that needs to be fixed like now, they will deny you until it's fixed. So depending on your dental history, you may have issues there. I was good to go. So not 100% sure on everybody else. Once you have done your overseas screening, you take your packet and you turn it into the overseas screener, who might also be the EFMP directors. Well, I'm not 100% sure on every base, but for us, at least it was in the same little office area. They will take a look at it and they will give you a paper that says whether or not you are suitable for the assignment. I'm going to see if I can show you this paper, but I'm trying to make sure there's no sensitive information on here. Okay, I'm just going to show you the part about myself. It says my name, Carolyn Monroe, and it says, yes, I am suitable for the overseas assignment. So once we got this, we had to take it to IPAC. IPAC then sent this paper out, and they asked basically for command sponsorship, or it's also known as area clearance. You do not get to go to Japan without area clearance. It is a mandatory thing in order to be sponsored and BAH and all that wonderful stuff. So with that being said, I actually just got my area clearance back this morning, and I was approved to go on this tour with my husband, which was wonderful. So yeah, that was pretty easy to do, pretty painless. Now, anything having to do with your actual husband, not the right person to ask. My husband had to fill out a paper that basically was his overseas screening to see if he was suitable to go. I mean, obviously he is, because he already spent 2 years out there before we came to this wonderful place. He had to get a bunch of signatures and stuff, and eventually he finally got approved. So once you have everything pretty much done, at some point you're going to want to go to your DMO office. Off the top of my head, I can't think of what DMO stands for, but it's basically the people who move your stuff. So you go there, your husband would have already filled out your move.mil paperwork, basically getting it started to set up your unaccompanied baggage, your household goods trip, and your non-temporary storage. With that being said, I can only attest to 2 of the 3 because we are not taking unaccompanied baggage. Our house is pretty empty. We've only been married shortly 2 years, therefore we don't have a lot of furniture yet. So we're only going to have household goods being taken and non-temporary storage. For the non-temporary storage, it's going to have 2 motorcycles, a washer, and a dryer in it, and then everything else in our house will get packed up and sent on the slow boat to Japan, which can take quite some time. In our case, about 2 months, so that'll be fun. Get that taken care of, and then I believe you have to talk to SATO, S-A-T-O. Those are your people who book your flights. So with our flights, we are flying out of Seattle, Washington, and we will be flying via the AMC or the Patriot Express, whichever one you want to call it. They're both used interchangeably, so it's basically Space A, but you are guaranteed a seat on the flight because you are on orders. With that being said, if you have wonderful pets, please, 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 please try to get your flights early. Try to get your port call done. It's pretty crucial. there are only, I don't know why the number 9 resonates with me. There are only between 9 to like 11 or 12 pet spots available per flight, and there's a maximum of 2 per couple. Or 2 per family, I should say. We luckily got 2 spots secured. So both my husband and I and the dogs will all be on the same flight, and that makes me so happy. This flight does not necessarily go through one of the major international airports once you get to Japan. We actually are going to land in, I'm going to butcher the name, Iwakuni first, and then Yokota. Or is that vice versa? I don't know. I don't actually know. It's one of those 2 first. Either which way, Iwakuni and Yokota, those are both bases. We will land on those bases. We will get off for like 2 hours. We will walk our dogs. We'll get back on the plane and eventually make it to Okinawa, and we fly into Kadena Air Force Base. So it's a little bit different than traveling commercially. It's hit and miss with the AMC, I've heard. We'll have to see. I will have to update you guys once we actually do leave and I've experienced that actual AMC flight. So with that being said, I will be posting videos in this whole little PCS series, if that's what you want to call it. This is just the first one, just kind of a basic overview. Eventually I'll do another one for the actual dog quarantine process. I don't know about cats and other animals, I just know about my dogs. We did buy a bunch of stuff from Marshalls, so I'll do a little Marshalls travel haul. At some point, I will be going home to North Carolina and driving 36 hours with my mother and 2 motorcycles attached to my little Chevy Cruze. Not sure how it's going to work yet, but eventually I will make a video about that, and then I will make a video on what we're packing on our checked luggage and our carry-on bag. With that being said, please leave any comments or questions down below. I will get back to you. If you would like to stay tuned and see what all these videos are going to be about and our travels to overseas, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on the bell. There's no set schedule yet for when I'm going to be posting. It'll just kind of be more of when I have time. So, with that being said, bye guys!